Keeping with the theme of one thing a day, we got this spray painted out. No big deal. Probably looks a mess. It's kind of thick. I had to put a different cap on the spray paint. I don't know, I've lost it. I've lost the spray paint or whatever. Had to put a different tip on it. Here it is. Had to put a different tip on it. You know, it's just got that big bullet hole in it. It's just coming out just as heavy as it wants to. Process of elimination. What's next? We need to cut these lines into that. But obviously you can't. I mean, I could with a Sawzall maybe. But we're going to kind of stop here on that. Put some spray paint on that. Throw a little spray paint. It's making a mess. Obviously, we point out our mistakes around here, guys. I'm not perfect, okay? I mean, this is called getting it roughed in. We got a patch over our other body plug. It's going to need, up there in the corner by the brake, it needs some seam sealer. And then we got to cut that back off and flip it around the other way for the wiring harness. So, I might take that brake booster back out, flip that plug around. I'm gonna put the electric box on there and kind of see where the wiring harness wants to go next. Do stuff we can keep pushing on. I'd like to paint a rat fink to the back side of that box and put a little light in there and put one of them DeWalt slide chargers on there. You could turn it on, you know, and pop the hood on it, kind of stare at it a little bit. I think it look cool. I might try to paint up a rat fink on it. It looked cool with like a gold leaf on it and just spin it and pinstripe it and just do like the rat fink holding on to the bow tie sign. 2.2 Ecotech up in the corner. It's saying a lot. I could do it, but we're going to keep it simple for now, guys. Probably spray paint. Spray paint gets hard enough and we keep tinkering with it enough and we can get that in and out pretty easy. We might put something on that. I think it'd look cool. Put it to the back side just so it don't blind you. Maybe you could see the rat fink. You'd have to put a reflector on it like a license plate light and put a light in it so you can see it. But we're just going to keep pushing. Obviously, we're going to have to do something with that plug. We get that plug flipped back around the other way. I was looking at it wrong for whatever reason. I thought the plug went through the firewall and it comes in from the engine in. So no big deal. We'll flip that around, get that, just a couple little tack welds on it, enough to where we can put something on it. And we'll have to get some seam sealer. And then to get that box fitted up there beautifully, I got to have room for the fuel lines and whatever else. So the motor will probably have to come back out to do all that. But we're going to start working on maybe getting this wiring harness laid in there and seeing what we're going to have to take loose and stretch wires and do whatever to make that fit. Then we got to take and make us something out of these leftover parts as far as making a box to mount the fans to from the motor. That'll be the next thing. We'll have to come up with a bracket or some way to mount some of that sheet metal up to get that fan on it to make a box to where it'll pull air through. That'll be the next thing. And once everything dries up a little bit here, we'll try to keep pushing. Got a hole. The more we scrape it, we got a hole in the floorboard over here, so we might have to take and clean some of this up, put some rust converter paint on it, dig it out, make sure it's going to be okay. That might just get some seam sealer over it if it's not a huge deal. So we'll see what and all's going on with that, but the rest of it looks pretty good. I looked at the frame. The frame's still decent, you know, so we're going to just try to get this thing up and get it on its feet and get it moving. And we got to figure out something with the brakes too. The brakes, I've found like 2 feed lines and 3 supply lines. 1 going to the back, 2 going to the front. It's got to be one with like disc and brakes, or like, you know, drum brakes. It's got to be front disc, drum brakes in the back, and it's got a little tool to bleed the proportionary valve out. So going to have to do something different there. Pretty simple. It looks like it might just bolt up to the master cylinder from the front. It just kind of hangs off to the side. We got to make sure we can just use what we got. That's all we're going to do. But process of elimination, we're going to have to pull some stuff back apart again and see if we can't do a little something. But that wiring harness, the way it goes in there, you know, I've got it feeding through these brake lines too, so you know, we can't hook all that up till we get our wiring harness in here and kind of situated. We're going to try to take and pull the brake booster back out and all that, because we still got to flip the plug. We've got to have room, and we're going to have to trim out that hole some more, and then we'll have to pull all that stuff back out too. But we got to make room for those fuel lines. And this little piece here, I think, holds the it actually holds the line for the butterflies. So, you know, we can use most of that factory stuff. We got to measure out a serpentine belt, and we got to figure out what the exhaust wants to do too. So we might have to tack it up and then gas weld it out or something. Once we do all that, we'll fit that box up there. We'll have to fix up the box for the heater controls. All we need is hot water to go through it and a fan blow across it, and if we got to patch something together and hook up a hose to here to there to make it all work, we will. That's the goal. That's the plan. Stay tuned. We'll try to get it back together here. It's fighting us a little bit. You got to make stuff. That's just the way it is. So